in the gray hymnal under your seat or in front of you, and the words will also be projected. You may stand in body or in spirit. There you go. All right. Ready. Let all the beauty we have known illuminate our hearts and minds. Rejoice in wonders daily shown, in faith and joy and love that binds. We celebrate with singing hearts the loveliness of sky and earth, the inspiration of the arts, the miracle of every birth. Life's music and its poetry surround and bless us through our days. For these we sing in harmony, together giving thanks and praise.
Good morning. I'm Janet Stevens, and I'm your celebrant for today. Our minister, Reverend Rick Davis, is taking some well-deserved time off. Today, we will be hearing from McKenzie Hodges-French, who is a member of our Storytellers and Homilists team. I'm sure there are many and diverse reasons why each of you decided to walk through that door and join us today here at the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Salem, Oregon. Maybe, just maybe, you were looking for something larger than yourself. Or maybe you heard about us from a friend or on a website and thought, hey, I'm gonna check that out. Maybe you're a longtime member and you have a meeting of a team or a committee this afternoon and you thought, oh, what the heck, I might as well come to service while I'm at it. Whatever brought you through those doors this morning, we are truly glad you're here. And we hope you'll stay for a bit after the service so we can get to know you better. Gathering together grows courage and community. When we combine our efforts, share our wisdom, and stand together, we nurture the seeds of change. Please join me in saying our affirmation. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration. Build a community of caring fellowship. Nurture the hopes and serve the needs of our world.
This is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and it's sung from the African American community from the Deep South. sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Hey. Well, I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. Band of angels coming after me, hey, coming for to carry me home. Hey, hey. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, if you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm coming too, hey, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I'm sometimes up and sometimes down, coming for to carry me home. Still my soul feels heavenly bound, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Carry me home. Swing low, sweet, swing low, sweet, swing low, sweet chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot, swing low, sweet chariot. Coming for me, coming for me. Carry me home. Carry me home.
Right now, in churches and congregations and fellowships and living rooms around the world, Unitarian Universalists are lighting their chalices. We light our chalices because it's a tradition. We light them because they are the symbol of our faith. But more than that, we light these chalices because when we kindle a chalice flame, its light and warmth are shared by all. At UUCS, it is our tradition to light 3 chalices. The first is for this congregation, all here, all watching us on YouTube, and all of our friends. The second is for our partner church, which is located in Szymanfalva, Transylvania, Romania. And our third chalice is for our youth, the children of our religious education program and children around the world. Would you please join together to sing the flame into life?
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Last week, the LRE team hosted Treasure Hunt Mini Day Camp. The children went on a treasure hunt all over the church grounds. They found buried treasure and shared it evenly amongst themselves. They made pirate hooks out of red Solo cups and aluminum foil. They made parrots and their own treasure maps to somewhere special in their lives. It was a fun day. This week's camp is Broadway bound. They will be creating their own musical with the help of singer-songwriter Marcia Christensen. Stay tuned for a sneak peek of their performance. I'm guessing, I don't have this on authority, but I'm guessing that if you stick around after the service, you might get to see something special.
Good morning. I'm Lorna Youngs with Lifelines Lay Ministry. And we, this morning, don't have any joys or sorrows written in the book or put online. So I'm hoping everyone is doing well. This Sunday is the Sunday for Compassionate Connection. So those of you who need a little extra care or TLC, please, after the service, come to the front and we'll hold our Compassionate Connection. If you have a need or concern or care, please contact Lifelines Lay Ministry. You can either call the office or you can contact us online by writing in lifelineslaministry.UUCS. Anyway, I hope that you have a very wonderful day and rest of the week. Thank you.
Our pastoral hymn is number 359, When We Are Gathered. It's in the gray hymnal. Again, the words will be projected. You may stay seated. When we are gathered for a time of worship and of song, let none forget the joys and griefs that mark each path of life, and thus we reach for those who love. We reach for those who love. For youth shall pass and time is wise, and countless seasons turn. So day by day our years increase until at last by life released our spirits shine like stars. Our spirits shine like stars.
Who here knows the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Good. Do you remember how Lucy discovers Narnia? Lucy looks for a perfect place to hide and opens up the door to a big wardrobe. And suddenly, she's in a whole other world, a magical world with witches and fauns and talking beavers. Wouldn't it be cool if there were a magical world beyond every door? When Lucy opened the door to Narnia, it didn't really look like anything special. It was just a boring door to a wardrobe full of clothes and coats. But across its threshold was magic. Lucy already had a foot in Narnia before she quite realized what was happening. Many of the thresholds of our lives are like this. We don't know that we're crossing into another world until we're already halfway there. The door of a church takes us down a pathway of growth we might never have expected. The door of a doctor's office suddenly opens out into a life with a hard diagnosis. A restaurant door opens onto a first date that echoes forward into a relationship of a lifetime. A beloved person's door closes behind you and sends you out into the world heartbroken. The door to a library or a gym or a dance studio introduces you to a life's passion you might not otherwise have discovered. We cross these thresholds every day of our lives, for good and for ill, in joy and in sorrow, and in bittersweet truth. Truly, even our own front door is a great threshold, no matter how familiar the worlds within and without may be. Given our lives' reality of constant change, every day we open the same old door again, only to step into a world that is new since the day before. In this way, there is a new world behind every door, awaiting our discovery, if only we will encounter it as such.
I was 20 years old and dealing with some toxic anti-queer situations, which led me to show up with a suitcase and backpack at a cheap but safe Milwaukee hotel. I was financially and socially supported by the government, complete with a social worker from my previous county, so I had money on hand. But I went to the front office of the hotel and bargained with them to pay my hotel stay the next morning. Luckily, they agreed and gave me a room key and a hotel room booked for a month out. So I packed my suitcase and backpack into the hotel room, sat down on the bed, and shed a few heart-tensing tears over my situation. I was a houseless, queer youth, out-of-work woman with few connections in that moment in a new, unfamiliar place. I felt like I was being tossed around in tall waves of an unpredictable ocean, with nothing to hold on to and no boat to cling to. My mind, frazzled, darted around to, how could I change my situation before my hotel stay and my money ran out? Because my money would eventually be depleted, and I felt then that no one else would change my situation. But in that space, I considered, maybe that could be good for me. Maybe I should be the agency to build my life according to my true heart. To my surprise, my tears did not completely dry up, but my heart lifted with such relief, and I focused on what I could do in that moment. I took my backpack and wallet, locked my hotel room, and went to the hotel office. I asked them where I could get affordable, healthy food, and they told me that a Fred Meyer was just up the street, a quick ride by bus. Added to that, they allowed homeless people to sometimes go without paying for their food there. Passing through the checkout, I told them my situation and paid some of my bill, but returned the next day to finish my payment, wanting to establish honesty with the people around me. After I got back to my hotel room that first evening, after eating, I felt much better and got some sleep. The next morning, I was awoken by a call from my previous social worker who would hook me up with my new one in Milwaukee, and we set up an appointment, and I was given directions to get there by bus. At the meeting, I thought of an idea. When I traveled abroad to school in Japan, didn't the Tokyo hostel cost only $10 per night? My new Milwaukee social worker did some research, and after a few meetings, he hooked me up with the only 2 Portland hostels, which did indeed cost $10 per night. He added to that Janice Youth Services, the Portland umbrella network for homeless youth, complete with work programs, education support, health resources, community enrichment groups, and more resources than I could count. I got a booking a few weeks out at the 2 Portland hostels, and I was transferred over to Janice Youth Services, and that's when my circumstances turned brighter for me. I discovered by rich experience that it was safe to venture beyond one's comfort zone and go farther afield to find my source. I leapt and the net appeared, even more colorful and alive than I had hoped to imagine for my security and success. I was fortunate to not sleep one night, literally on the street. That was my goal, and I stuck to it. To my luck, Janice was big on affordable housing and had a strong system for this. While I didn't remain houseless for long enough to take advantage of their affordable housing, my very safe and beautiful hostels were like a sanctum and retreat abroad, all in one. I was thrilled to pick myself up in a place which could catch me, in an international city, Portland, where I met approachable and engaged people from all over the world. The stories we swapped were fascinating and engaged me more deeply into a world and future which I wanted to choose for myself, which was unfolding more thoroughly each day for me. My 6-month experience of being houseless in Portland was so secure for me because I had experience traveling abroad in school to England and Japan, learning directions in a new place, moving living quarters multiple times, and budgeting hotel stays and food, and I drew on all of that. For those who know about hostels, they are a place where people internationally can stay inexpensively and reside in a communal living space where we all share chores, stories, city tours together, and friendship. I learned the creative art of attention so deeply then. It was imprinted with sparkle on my heart. But what I most thought was beautiful were the people. They had such vivid personalities that they freed me. I fondly remember 2 times at 2 different Portland hostels where guests cooked and hosted delicious traditional meals from their home countries, and I was refreshed in being immersed in various living patterns and perspectives in that bigger world. At one meal, the butternut squash was so nutty, and at the other, it was like the first time I had tasted cilantro. At the communal meal with the cilantro, I hosted a lullaby jam, where we all took a break from all the rushing around we were doing to get the most out of our destination, and relaxed at my evening party with a global lullaby album playing in the background and a slower pace. Interestingly, those hostel stays and the fellow travelers there were where I was fully thrown into the green and organic movement, and I couldn't get enough of all the varieties of community-hosted yoga, clean beauty and fashion, and clean food. Because I could only go green sparingly, I learned how to maximize each cent. I considered myself an archaeologist of money, someone who rejoices at little pieces of a bigger discovery. Janice Youth Services served everyone from those with housing insecurity to backpackers and everyone in between. I was fortunate that they considered me a youth with housing insecurity. But it was not all bright days and new foreign experiences. During my 6-month houseless travels, I cried a few times at my financial insecurity, argued with the other houseless youth a few times, and, with some complaints and some joy, adapted to the cold, rainy, and snowy weather. We got a mild snowstorm in Portland that winter, and while the snow was thick and the Janice volunteers advised us to only go out to head to their day centers, I couldn't miss the frosty magic and youth acquaintances who I was bonding with most, even when I ended up with bronchitis and wore out my new, cheap snow boots by the end of that time. I was thrilled to be expanding rather than constricting, my world with this uncertain period when I connected with a few Janus volunteers who seized a hold of and maximized my eclectic spiritual practices by sharing their own. After hearing my unusual story of the beings who were watching over me and my new connections, one volunteer shared his African, Yoruba, and Vodun practices and occult chaos magic practices, and how close these were to my own unusual spiritual events unfolding for me. I discovered a streak in me of angel magic, which I had never heard of until then as an official religious practice. But I was refreshed when these 3 volunteers encouraged me to keep a journal for all the story seeds, songs, and angelic rituals which were blossoming in me from their nurturing. I felt so blessed and fortunate at everyone's validation. The Janus volunteers, fellow houseless youth and queer youth, and fellow hostile travelers. It was just the breath of fresh air I needed. I experienced the most beautiful gift of the Janus volunteers' nurturing of our youth's tight camaraderie, fostering a sense of mutual compassion and equitable relations between us, and affinity of human spirit. A fond memory I have of that time was when I would sit in the hallway of the McMenamins White Eagle Hotel and record on a cheap voice recorder the songs that had been my own made-up soundtrack to my city explorations and visits. My heart turned to feeling light when I pressed these songs onto the paper, and I captured the grittiness until it was just like the texture of the pavement I was crossing, like an architectural feature. And the art worked to process my feelings and responses. Another volunteer, the leader of the guitar and vocal artist mentorship program, encouraged me to prepare songs for the open mic nights at the White Eagle, which I pursued. But I didn't stay long enough to get that far. His music program was held at Janus's Queer Day Center, which I was connected with immediately, as well as the group Queer Zone, and I found yet another tribe at the always buzzing Queer Resource Center. Hope and confidence grew in me at this abundance of resources, even when I got to go to a queer Halloween prom and have a night out. There were so many directions opening up for me to go in my future, and I decided to dabble in as many as possible. But I especially took to the theater outreach program at Janus, which gave youth free tickets to various plays and performances at the Schnitz and Antoinette Hatfield Hall throughout the year. Guerrilla Theater, a separate group held by Janus, encouraged me to push my creative medium into new territory and take creative risks. I will never forget the rich hope and confidence that blossomed into me from that time and continues to this day, when I truly learned the meaning of Luciano de Crescenzo's quote, "We are, each of us, angels with only one wing, and we can only fly embracing each other." Janus Youth Services didn't just provide us food and a roof. They nurtured and invested in the human beings in us. They fortified us to push the medium of our lives as far as it could go, to be more at an uncertain time. I and the others became excited about the futures we were building and truly living, rather than merely observing, and Janus launched us into these chosen futures. While the youth and volunteers are scattered across the state, maybe even this nation, I will never forget their kind friendship and affinities of spirit. I found strength like the message in this quote by Tom Robbins. If you take any activity, any art, any discipline, any skill, take it and push it as far as it will go. Push it beyond where it has ever been before. Push it to the wildest edges of edges. Then you force it into the realm of magic. That is the space where I found my life to exist in. And I found that I actually thrive in uncertainty and the mystery of the unfolding moment. The circles we move in can make us or hinder us, help us grow or keep us wanting for more. I propose that we chase that more and go farther afield to fill our heart's creative well.
Thank you, McKenzie. That was wonderful. Why do we take an offering each week? Is it because we've always done it? Is it because it's one way that UUs continue a tradition from the practices of the faiths that we descend from? Is it so that we can listen to another wonderful musical selection? The answer is probably yes to all of these. But most of all, we ask you to make a financial contribution as a tangible symbol of your support of our free faith and its many ministries. Our Share the Plate program for August is loose. Latinos Unidos Siempre, who empower youth through leadership development and grassroots organizing, and I do apologize to anyone who actually speaks Spanish because that was bad, while fighting against the institutional oppression. As always, we accept donations to the Mary and Poke Food Share in the wagon at the front of the sanctuary. Donations may be made by putting them in the baskets as they pass, or by logging into uusalem.org and following the prompts. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received.
Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, then we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be fair, 'tis a gift to wake and breathe the morning air, and every day to walk in the path that we choose. 'Tis a gift we hope we may never come to lose. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. Loving, 'tis the best gift of all, like a quiet rain, it blesses where it falls, and if we have the gift, we will truly believe 'tis much better to give than it is to receive. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. Till by turning, we come round right.
Thank you very much, Jim and Nadine. That was beautiful. Next Sunday, the Journey Home with Reverend Mark Gallagher. Many of you who are regulars here will be familiar with Reverend Gallagher, and he's always such a pleasure to listen to. Let's see, I think we are going to have our last chance to sign up for connections groups. You can see that there's a variety of options, including online. So please get your registration in today. Sarah will be in the fellowship hall afterwards, and you can sign up with her, or you can sign up online. There's a lot else going on in this community, and as we open back up, there's more and more all the time. So please regularly check our website for what's going on, or you can call the office. They're happy to get you in touch with what's going on. If you don't already get our news mail or our newsletter or Friday email, please call the office and they will set you up for that. And it's very informative and keeps you up on what's going on in our little community. So I also have a kind of favor to ask. This is an off-the-cuff announcement. Turns out that the person who was supposed to be doing coffee today is not able to, so if there's anyone, or nicely a few of you, who would be willing to step in and assist with getting the coffee ready for everyone and for cleaning up afterwards, that would be greatly appreciated. So now it's time to light the social justice candle. So I'm going to ask McKenzie to bring that forward and light it from our community candle. We light this candle every week as a symbol of the light and warmth that you take out into the community through the many, many ministries of our congregation. And now we extinguish our own chalices, and I'm going to offer you some words from Laura Lynn Bellamy. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give it back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace.
And let's sing our closing hymn together. It is number 414 in the gray hymnal. It's a short hymn as we leave this friendly place, so we'll sing it through twice. So please rise in body or in spirit.
Before we say our closing words, I wanted to let you know that our guest musicians, Jim and Nadine, will be playing an additional song at the end of the service, so please be mindful of others as you leave the sanctuary. Now, since most of you have already done it, but if you feel comfortable, please join hands, join your hearts together as we say our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come. Good job. Well done.
Folk music. 32. Okay.